तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. We were seeing in the last class how God sees the inner feelings of man and not the external things. Where is he? What is he doing? Where has he fallen? He is not seen by God. But what his heart says, what is the innermost content, that God observes. Verily, the Lord looks into the man's heart and does not judge him by what he does or where he lives. Krishna accepts a devotee's inner feelings of love. In the Kartabhaja sect, the teacher, while giving initiation, says to the disciple, "Now everything depends upon your mind." According to this sect, he who has the right mind has the right way and also achieves the right end. If mind is the whole play of everything is in the hands of mind. Why mind? Because the vasanas, the tendencies we have created lives after lives, or even in the present life, suppose music I am learning, and I have made a attachment or a tendency to go in that direction. At the time of death, all my learning in that field gets erased. I will not remember anything in my next life. But my tendency to learn music again remains. This is called vasana. All the tendencies is now the vehicle is running in the direction of the moment where it is being taken. Now the momentum, the past momentum in us, the vasanas cannot have control or hold on any aspect of our existence except mind. It cannot hold our bodily existence. It cannot hold my senses. It cannot hold my intellect. They are all independent. Senses are instruments. Mind is the one thing which controls the senses, which directs the karmendriyas to act. So the mind which is governing everything, if that is caught, so everything becomes under control. Body comes under the control of the vasanas. Mind, sense, mind, one mind. If vasana, there is a vasana has sway over the mind. It cannot have sway over the senses. Mind controls the senses. Mind controls the karmendriyas. Mind controls the bodily existence. So this mind is being caught. So if the mind, which is the managing factor of my all faculties, if that mind is in proper direction, then it is, everything is achieved. So the whole thing is to lift this mind and keep in the right track. Give the feedings. Now behind mind stands the intellect, but still the intellect has a motherly feeling towards the mind and try to satisfy what mind demands. Just like children, mother has that tendency to it is poisonous like. Still, when the child weeps for a chocolate or an ice cream when it is not well, mother is forced to give it. Like that, intellect will try to fulfill all the demands of mind, and demands of mind are nothing but it is purely under the vasanas, past vasanas, till the viveka interferes. When viveka interferes, the whole picture changes. Viveka is one thing, a faculty of the mind stuff, mana buddhi chitta ahankara. All this, it is like churning these and taking out the butter. And this viveka is independent of vasana always. Intellect also has an affinity for mind. Viveka doesn't have. Viveka, now when viveka comes, it leads the intellect itself. It pervades the intellect from within. And intellect starts behaving independent of the mind which is under vasanas. And this intellect not only becomes independent of mind and starts going towards the divine, but it shows the ways by which the vasanas can be eliminated or the mind can be freed from it teaches the mind how you got entangled in the world, how you can release yourself, O mind. So we see most of the saints addressing their own mind. Manache Slok, all these, Manare, all these addressing their own mind. So here we see here when Sri Ramakrishna says, now the whole thing, the Kartavajas, way of presenting, now whole thing is in your mind. How, if you are right mind, then right will be your path, right will be your achievements. So this happens when the essence of all this viveka appears in the intellect and helps its evolution. It was through the power of his mind Hanuman leapt over the sea. Huge leap, leapt over the sea. I am the servant of Rama. I have repeated his holy name of Rama. Is there anything impossible for me? That was the Hanuman's faith. Mind is one side is to release itself from the past vasanas, create new vasanas, and this new vasanas, the basis of new vasanas is faith. The faith leads. Now, example Sri Ramakrishna is giving, the Hanuman's example, just I am Rama's servant, I have nothing to worry. Nothing is impossible for me. That faith in Rama and Rama's strength makes him take a leap over the ocean and land in the Lanka. Faith. Faith is the power by which it is like an engine, it is driving. Viveka is releasing the mind from the vasanas. One is the engine to drive, one is to release all the holdings from the behind. Ignorance lasts as long as one has ego. How each one is interconnected, you see. Ignorance lasts as long as one has ego. There can be no liberation so long as ego remains. O God, thou art the doer and not I. That is the knowledge. Slowly, every jiva, ultimately, even in sadhana, in spiritual practices, whatever we do in spiritual practices, we cannot reach God nor transcend nature, because we are working within nature and ego is there. I do sadhana, I do japa, I call on God. That I is there. It is good. But this I converts the sadhana into action, karma. Karma has its own phala. You will get peace of mind, you will get freedom from the world, but realization of God and transcending God. Ultimately, all sadhanas lead you to the surrender. Your expected fruit is not God. Many other fruits are God, including siddhis you get through sadhana. During sadhana, so many things, even purity of heart, many things you experience. Freedom from all the enjoyments and bindings of the world you get. What more you want? But where is the realization of God? So many things we achieve through sadhana. The ultimate goal remains unachieved. It is because that ego is there of doership. So the moment this ego, without sadhana, ego doesn't surrender. All sadhanas ultimately lead us to the surrender of ego. Nothing can make me reach. But the faculty of surrender, it is Jivatma, it has accepted its alpatva. I am limited. The limitedhood is accepted by the jiva. This has to be released. This is the ignorance. This is the basic ignorance. It is thinking itself to be a ice piece floating in ocean, is thinking itself independent, separated, limited from the ocean. It is water. It's a different state of existence. A drop has become ice. It is water. If it accepts I am water, it dissolves and becomes one with the ocean. If it I am distinct from other things, though there is no difference, there is distinction without difference. It is there. So this is the ignorance. I am this ice and not the ocean. This ignorance goes when it notes its essence. It is H2O and ocean is H2O. When it considers as ice and water, there appears to be a difference. It is not difference but distinction alone, yet it looks like a difference. I am different from it. In the eyes of the ice, it becomes a difference. So it remains. This ignorance dissolves with the surrender of ego. Ego is holding on to that. I am limited. Ego surrenders. The ignorance dissolves. And it finds, oh, I am yourself. So this is the actual evolutionary process that happens. The whole thing leads us to the surrender of the soul. Thou art the doer. I am not there. For everything, the ego has kartritva, bhoktritva and jnatritva. Three aspects of ego. Ego has I am doer, I do, I enjoy. Doership, enjoyership. And then knowership. Knowership is it knows I am limited, jivatma. This limitation, but the whole thing to transcend the nature and go, that what is needed is kept in the jiva. And that jiva can get released just by surrender. That surrender is, O God, thou art the doer and not I. That is the knowledge. With it dawns the knowledge. By being lowly, one can rise high. The chatak bird makes its nest on the low ground, but it soars very high in the sky. Cultivation is not possible on high land. In low land, water accumulates and makes cultivation possible. Ego is like a peak on which the water doesn't stand. The water flows down into the bowls on the earth. Wherever there is low land, it gets accumulated. There you can cultivate. So where there is ego is like the high mound. We usually tell when what moves or walks before the man. When the man is going, what is the most thing that is in the front is his nose and stomach. Nose stands for the ego and stomach for the desires. So you can usually see when a person walks, his stomach and the nose is what move forward. By being lowly, one can rise high. Means humility. Humility is he becomes so humble. No presentation of ego anywhere. Ego of knowledge, even ego of knowledge, a jnani doesn't present. He so humble, so loving, so this one. And for the purpose of fulfillment of nature's work, nature may keep the ego of a knowledge, like in Shankaracharya, it was there. In some people, ego of knowledge, ego of being a bhakta, and all that is kept after realization also for the welfare of the world. One must take the trouble to seek the company of holy persons. One must take the trouble to seek the company of holy persons. In his own home, a man hears only worldly talks. The disease of the worldliness has become chronic with him. The caged parrot, sitting on its perch, repeats Ram Ram, Rama Rama. But let it fly to the forest and it will squawk in its own usual way. You see, the holy company, very difficult to get, but that is the only solution. Constant hearing of the divine. One important faculty given to man, or a vent through which knowledge can get accumulated into or awaken the inner self, is Shruti, hearing. Some elderly sadhus and all, in the beginning of the sadhana, they used to advise, listen to anything that is divine and good, and that which is helping man's evolution. Constant feeding is necessary of the divine, because we have external awareness and internal awareness, antar prajna and bahir prajna. Bahir prajna, every bit of the world that we see, perceive, think, imagine, read, everything gets filled up in the bahir prajna, external awareness. Internal awareness remains empty. Even at the time of death, they feel emptiness within. because inner antarprajna is not filled with the divine. And here, when you are in the company of the holy people, holy company, you will see that the constant feeding, every bit of knowledge regarding spiritual and divine enters into the antarprajna. It doesn't stand at the outer prajna, external awareness. It doesn't become a part of the external awareness. It becomes a part of the internal awareness. What is this internal awareness? Sri Ramakrishna gives the beautiful example of bird sitting on its egg for hatching. When bird is sitting on the egg, it just looks all around. Without blinking its eyes, it is seeing. But whole attention is on the egg on which it is sitting and giving the warmth for hatching. So this is antarprajna. It is when you are walking in the world, when you are studying, when you are learning, when you are doing some activities, can you observe within yourself where that I exists, what is there along with it? Deep within yourself. There you see the inner awareness slowly getting filled up with even if a man meets with an unknown accident, momentary death also is filled inside with the divine. The part which is safe, in that safety part it is no more empty. Just go on hearing, just go on reading things which are in such a way. It is not reading, it is studying. It's between studies and reading. Studies is where you get involved and that get absorbed into you. Reading is just casual reading, dropping away and going. It is not involvement. With involvement, when you read, to grasp the secrets, to know to discern it clearly, then it becomes slowly you see that it is depositing inside you, inside the all external layers, including the intellect. The last layer, it goes as deep as your deep sleep. Deep within yourself it goes and stays as the inner awareness. So here, this is the most essential part. The satsanga gives you, fills you from within. It doesn't fill you the external. All schools and colleges which give you such great certificates and knowledge. You can do any computer, you can do any arms of the military which can destroy. You see the nuclear weapons, how powerful they are. All that knowledge, it doesn't go inside. All that knowledge you get in schools and colleges, everything gets deposited in the external awareness. Within you, you remain empty. With all knowledge of the school, all knowledge of the computers, all knowledge within the your mobile phone, all knowledge is external. But when you hear it from a person who is living a life dedicated to God, he is called holy man, holy company. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about holy company. A man who is landing, who is living in the spiritual world as a spiritual aspect or as an advanced sadhaka or an enlightened person or a saint or a struggler, spiritual struggler who has given up the taste for the world. He might not have got enlightened, but he has given up the taste for the world and is seeking God also. It is sufficient. He is a step ahead of me, like when he is studying in 10th standard and I am in the first standard or second standard. Yes, he can teach me till that. So all these people we can consider as the holy men at our level, each level, and get the knowledge from them. And this knowledge, what we hear from them, goes deep into our inner cell and becomes a part of my existence. My existence. All others remain in the memory, external things. This goes inside, and from inside it blooms. That is the enlightenment. So one must take trouble to seek the company of holy persons. In his own home, man hears only worldly talks. The disease of the worldliness has become chronic with him. Move with any person in this world, however knowledgeable that person may be, he will talk to you only of the world and worldly contents. Spiritual matter doesn't come up, or higher understanding. When people leave home and come away to join the ashrama, how much of resistance from the family, and how much of resistance from within the person itself. He has to conquer both his own mind, small doubts, small understanding. Will I be able to live this life? That is my real nature. That doesn't come to my mind. With some acceptance, he is able to leave the home and renounce and come away. Yet they are house people. They should have led the children towards the eternal life, towards the pure life of sacrifice and divine love. They hold them back. They want them to earn in the world, enjoy the world, and undergo intense suffering, endless suffering. Then we see what is the difference between a holy man and even house. Lot of difference. It has become chronic, Sri Ramakrishna says. The caged parrot, he gives the example. Mere possession of money does not make a noble man. One sign of the mansion of a noble man is that all rooms are lighted. The poor cannot afford much oil, and consequently he cannot have so many lights. This shrine of the body should not be left dark. One should illuminate with the lamp of wisdom. So within must be burning the lamp of wisdom. In the house, if it is lighted, it is beautiful. Everywhere wisdom, everywhere knowledge. So that is what is expected. So Sri Ramakrishna says, like a lighted house of a noble man, your heart also should be always kept lighted from within. And that light must be radiating through you at all times. So we will stop here for the day. We will continue. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrutavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.